of heavy lifting. So look, it's a Wednesday running back. It's a W in the chat. The Catdets spitting facts. Got the Catdets culture on the map. There ain't no PvP. I'm preaching PvP. If you want COC, wins here every week. I've been saying that it's heat. Every call I be getting geeked. I'm enthralled for every speaker. Updates making peace. Roof raise, can you see it? Luck ain't even in it. This is just a bunch of heavy lifting. So look, it's a Wednesday running back. There's a W in the chat. The Catdets spitting facts. Got the Catdets culture on the map. There ain't no PvP. We're preaching PvP. If you want COC, you better show you mean it. Stay in culture, let's make some more. Catdets corner, so you call her. All the baddies, he's a lady. Pull up, he's a lady. Killing him, he also known as that. Chatting with Cash on the back end. How it's gonna add up the change like a cat. Gotta say I'm glad I was in the Jupiverse. Like an OG status and I'm still up on the path. Cooking over gas, started the expansion. Looking like a blast, man, it's fun to be a cat. If you ain't one yet, you should stick around for that. When my name turned red, I felt the first passion. I had to go get it moving on. Making do some music and the cats like it's a groove. Truly, cats looking like a little movie. Life getting changed, that's how he said he do it. We got wins here every week. I've been saying that it's heat. Every call I be getting geeked. I'm enthralled for every speaker. Updates making peace. Roof raise, can you see it? Luck ain't even in it. This is just a bunch of heavy lifting. So look, it's a Wednesday running back. There's a W in the chat. The Catdets spitting facts. Got the Catdets culture on the map. There ain't no PvP. We're preaching PvP. If you want COC, you better show me.
Yo, what up?
Oh, look who it is!
Hello, how's it going?
Everybody, it's been a little minute since we've been away, but we are thrilled to be back with you right now, live on another Planetary call. Planetary call number 49.
49.
If you can believe it.
Holy fuck.
We're 49 in,
49.
and you would think by this point we would be on top of the game, that we would have our slides done well in advance, that we would know exactly what's going on. And my friends, you would be mistaken. But that's exactly what makes these calls fun and a little chaotic and a little wild. We are coming to you live from Malaysia. It is 11:41 p.m. and the energy has never been higher. Shout out to everybody in the chat already. Scarlet Dam room, same room confirmed banger. That's a fact. It always gets a little bit weird when me and Meow are in the same room.
Wow.
Meow had to hit the bleezy first. We understand, says I see. Yeah,
What slides, man, you're talking about. You know, Catdets amazing. What's amazing is that, like,
What's that?
no matter how many times you do it, right, we still don't get in time.
Yeah, it never.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how many times you fucking do it.
We even delayed it a day, and we still didn't get it done in time.
We work hard, by the way. We actually work really hard.
That's actually the problem.
Really hard, by the way. We actually work really hard to try to do everything. You know, we just get.
There's a lot of stuff cooking, folks. Let me promise you that. On the Jupiter side, I'm here in the Malaysia office. Obviously, Meow is here up as well. We spent the entire day. I mean, it's been like, I don't know, like 14 hours or some shit like that, to go and grinding on a bunch of product stuff that we want to bring to you, a bunch of community stuff that we want to bring to you, and of course, the Planetary call as well. So we're going to have a lot of fun. Shout out to Alex, who reposted the stream. Did he type that in, or I don't really know how that goes. Meow is a bit quieter than you. People are saying that you're quieter than me. That's bearish. That's Founder Energy. Seong did go to sleep like an old person, or as we like to call him, a weakling. Seong, if you're watching this, you know that's about you, but you know I love you. Meow's microphone can't see the green light on. Oh, Seong did go to sleep like an old person. There we go. Wait, you guys, can people hear Meow? No. Yes, say something, dude.
Hey, of course again. Yeah. No?
I don't know. We're about to find out. Say something, Meow. Say something.
Hello, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Oh, we could. The chat trolling us. We haven't even started the call, folks. That's not what we need right now. Katie, I see what you're doing, and I don't like it. Who's that guy on the left? I don't know, stage left or... Well, you're going to learn all about us in just a second. But before you do, there's something that, according to our new lawyers, we have to do, and that is allow the unofficial Cadet theme song to begin. Where is my screen? Oh, my God. There we go. And it goes a little something like, whoa. It goes a little, what the? It goes a little something like this. That is right. The unofficial Catdets theme song gets me going every time, and it gets me out going as well. But he's going through the slides right now to make sure that they're all right. We are trying a new microphone setup. Say something, Meows. Let's see if they can.
Hello. Does it work? Does it work?
Please give us a little thumbs up, thumbs down in the chat so we know, is this better or not? We had a podcast studio booked for this, but there were some complications, shall I say. Mostly that they didn't want to be open from 11:30 p.m. until 1:30 a.m. So that's fair enough. All right. Works okay. I can barely hear. Now it works. This is hard to know. Can somebody who I actually trust say something in the chat that I can believe you? That would be super helpful. We can hear him in Kash's microphone. That doesn't make any sense, though, because I created the mic. It should just be the microphone from this thing that we're using, the studio display. I might just be louder. All right, we got a new microphone. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Say something.
Testing 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. Let's go.
Best yet? Best yet? Yes, no? Ayo? Yeah? All right. We can hear it. All right, we're going with it, folks. We're going with it. We wasted too much time already on audio technical issues, and we got to get into the meat of it because we got a lot of stuff going on today. My name is Kash Donda. I am the cat herder over here at Jupiter. We have Meow, the cat, I guess. For the record, cat herder does not apply to Meow. It applies to everyone at Jupiter because they're all cats is the idea. And I swear to God, if we get, let's say, I don't know, 500 retweets on this? How many retweets to do a tortilla slap challenge?
Sorry?
How many retweets to do a tortilla slap challenge, you think?
I don't know. Like 500?
500? Yeah, okay. We'll do 500 retweets. We'll do a tortilla slap challenge. It's going to be a fun one today, folks. We have a lot to cover. In case you're new around here, welcome to your first Planetary call. 49th one that we have done. Let the man focus, Kash, says Monique. He's locked in right now, as you can tell. We have a very fun one today, but the point of these calls is always the same. It's to celebrate the people, the products, the partners that make the Jupiverse so great. And that's what we're going to be focusing on today. Give you a rapid fire tour of everything that's happened across the Jupiverse in the last week, and then go forward from there. So we're going to do this week in the Jupiverse and run through a few quick wins. Then we're going to have a special guest on Redacted. Actually, we might flip around these two sections. So we're going to do a little frank talk, not about the DAO, but about the Jupiverse in general. Then we're going to do the special guest. Then we have a new DAO Resolution draft. Very important that we want to get people's feedback on. It's all around improving the proposal process based on, you guessed it, your feedback. Before we hit into the Catdets Corner feature. And honestly, somebody I'm disappointed in myself. I cannot believe it took us 49 calls to get this man on as Catdets Corner. He has been a long-time supporter of the project, one of the pillars and the anchors of the Jupiverse, quite honestly.
The best.
I'm not going to lie to you. There are times that this man writes threads about stuff that even I didn't know was going on in Jupiter. I learned shit about my own company from him. And his name is Marino, and he is an absolute legend. He's going to be on here at the very end. Who's the special guest, OX Baba? Well, you're just going to have to wait and find out. Constantine says, Meow, give us more attention, bro.
Hi, hello, yeah.
All right, that's the game plan as we go through this. All right, we're going to start off with this week in the Jupiverse as I take you through it and as Meow frantically works on his slides and goes through it. All right, so few things have happened in this past week that we want to get you up to speed on. Let's do it rapid fire style. First and foremost, congratulations are due. Please drop a little W into the chat for our friends over at the Jupe and Juice work group. The budget vote in favor of their proposal has indeed passed. And we're super excited to see them and what they can do from now. Now is really when the work begins. As I told the homies Wake and Sachs and everybody else, the proposal can feel like the end, but really it's like giving birth.
The beginning.
That's really the beginning.
Actually, one of the really important things to understand, right, is that this is really the beginning, right? It's like,
I think that so one of the things that we want to really address, right, is that like we were like the proposal really showed us a few things, right? Number one is that how important it is to actually work with people that we know and trust because they've been around in the community for a long time, right? You know, the other thing, but on the flip side, it's also very important to kind of hear a lot of the feedback that was came out, right? You know what I'm saying, right? And also one of the major feedback I think is that like this is the beginning, right? Like it's a beginning for it's a beginning for the four of them to really show how they can add value, right, to a Jupiverse. You know what I'm saying, right? So one of the things actually really important here is that I think that there's a big divide, right, between people who actually have been working with them and know them and treasure their work, right? And there's also lots of people and staff who maybe not too familiar with that. That's what I'm saying, and that's actually a pretty big group of people. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that's actually something that we're going to address as well. But it's actually really important to understand that that we have to figure out a mechanism to actually make sure that everybody understands and see the value of each and every group. Yeah,
that's right. This one, there was definitely a lot of conversation, a lot of different ideas going around. In the end, it passed with 65% in favor, not including abstain, which is a quite a substantial majority. And so we're really excited to see them continue and quite frankly, start to exponentially grow the impact that they're going to be able to have. They actually just sent over a growth plan that I know I owe them a call on next week as well. Good stuff. Shout out to Jupe and Juice.
Actually, one thing that's actually really important that we need to start bringing back, right, is that like one thing that bringing back is that we really start bringing back the idea that like that we actually have frequent public reviews. You know what I'm saying, of the work and the scope. That makes sense. Yeah.
What do you think after proposal? Like what? Let's
after
say quarterly,
no, much more quarterly, just continuous. You know what I'm saying? I feel like one of the very big problems is that a lot of the conversations were just not happening, right? So I'm saying they happen in Discord, but they weren't really happening on Twitter, right? So I'm saying, and there really wasn't a constant, genuine discussion about how to actually like create more like value and like what was value mean and everything. You know what I'm saying, so I feel like that's actually a very big problem. You know, that's all.
Yeah, it's true. You got to get the word out, folks, especially at Jupiter scale. It's a double-edged sword being a behemoth as Jupiter is and having the community the size that we do. On the bright side, it's incredible to kind of push Jupiter and the product suite forward. On the other side, there's a lot of coordination costs and there's a lot of difficulty to make sure that everyone can appreciate all the things that are happening in the different pockets across it. That's part of the reason we do this call, is to help kind of bring the community together. And right now we've got more than 3,000 folks with us as we do it. And I'm sure that number is going to keep going up. So let's talk about some other stuff that happened in the Jupiverse this week. Nice one on the dev side. The referral dashboard for integrators is now live. So if you are a smart dev, and if you're watching this in your dev, I know you're a smart dev, you now can use Jupiter's APIs, that's Ultra, that's Swap, that's Trigger, or even Terminal, and now you earn referral fees. So you integrate Jupiter's APIs into your products, and you can earn referral fees, and you can see all of those over at referral.jupe.ag. So big shout out to Aman and Dan from the DevRel work group. DevRel work group, speaking of another work group that's putting out work right now. This one, love to see. Shout out to Kant and Fiji and everybody else that's out here. So let's see. VDMD asks about more transparency on the progress and the plan for the next 1 year. This kind of stuff will be coming. We'll talk a little bit more about that in just a bit as well. And the next win, Jupiter Pro keeps getting powered, keeps getting better as Meteora keeps powering more launchpads. So just today alone, yesterday? I flew like on a red eye last night. I'm a little bit discombobulated, let me say. But a warm JM in the chat for Clout, Subs.fun, and Trends.fun. All three kind of unique models or unique approaches or experiments in this kind of token creation game, in this Web 4 game, some might even dare to say, all powered by Meteora's DBC. That's their dynamic bonding curve. Dynamic money curve has a bunch of cool benefits. You should go join the LP army and learn more about it over there. But here's what you need to know as a Jupiter fan. Instantly available. Any token that's launched across any of these different launchpads is in Jupiter routing and is going to be shown in Jupiter Pro. So you're going to be able to go to the Jupiter Pro alpha scan area, look through the launchpads, see what kind of the major tokens are there, what kind of volumes they're having, and so on. So this is pretty great to see. Then, if you are a trader, and as we're talking about Jupiter Pro, we got some other good news for you. Some good quality of life improvements have happened because, say it with me now, the Jupiter devs never stop shipping. Meow never stops working on slides, as you can tell by his focus right now, and the devs, they never stop shipping. So what you can see now on the trader are trader stats within the token pages. So you can filter to see your trades as well as the developer trades in the table kind of view, which I think is pretty cool. You can toggle between market cap and price very easily. You can click to view a specific trader in Jupiter portfolio. That's actually probably my favorite. You want to do a little spying, you see somebody bought XYZ token early. You want to understand a little bit more about what their other holdings are, what DeFi protocols they're using, what tokens they've got. Well, now you can do so. So it's now just become that much easier to see what other traders are doing using Jupiter Pro. And of course, you can filter to see the trades of a specific holder as well. So if you just want to see what XYZ person is doing, filter it just for their wallet address and you can see it over there. Every week, Jupiter Pro just gets better and better for the pro traders out there or for the amateur traders who want to become pros. So big shout out to Ryan, Liwei, and Joe from the pro team for shipping this one out. It's always addicting. Thank you, Kira. I appreciate that. Jupe Pro 5-minute cook is DGen Bliss. Broda's more of a DGen than I am, and I love him for it, or her for it, I suppose. Pretty good to see. AI Money says Jupe Pro is killing it. That's a fact. That's right. Jupe is home. Hennington is also correct. What's going on? Jupe Sync. Go check out Jupe Sync, by the way. If you want to see what else is going on across the Jupiverse, key milestones, events, and so on, Jupe Sync is the place you need to be. All right. We also have a new DAO grantee, Sabino. Shout out to Sabino. Been in the community for a little while now. Has received a grant from the Jupe DAO for his Jupiter User Experience Initiative. The goal here is to improve the user feedback collection for Jupiter products. We have feedback.jupe.ag. We have the support portal, which, by the way, gets between 500 and 750 tickets a week right now. There's tons and tons of feedback that's also happening, though, on Twitter, on Discord, on Reddit, on YouTube, everywhere. It's happening across many, many different channels. And Sambino has stepped up. He thought to himself, okay, how do I help fulfill the DAO's mission of accelerating the growth of Jupiter's products, community, and ideas? Well, one way to make the product's growth improve is to get more feedback and action on that feedback as quickly as possible. So this is a micro grant. It's purely in USDC, less than $10,000, no Jupe in it. But shout out to Sambino going forward. And a shout out to the Grant and Talent Support Work Group as well for helping make this happen here. On subs.fund too, Cash. That's right. All right. And then one last kind of announcement, and this is a break. Accidentally muted the microphone in my breaking news announcement. The Jupe Research Forum is moving. You want to explain this one, Meow?
Yes, we will be using so basically we'll be so you guys know Jupe Research, right? JUPRESAEA.ch, right? We'll be using that domain in the future. Moving forward, we'll be using it for like Jupe Research specific stuff, right? okay, so here's the funny thing. It's like in the past when we first created that system, right? We actually didn't really we actually planned for it to be much more tank in nature. Right, like we really kind of aim for it to be like much more tank in nature. But I think but over the last like year or so, it has obviously become more around like the more like community centric. You know what I'm saying? More like the Jupe working group and everything and stuff, right? Versus being research centric. You know what I'm saying? Right? And turns out that actually we do a lot of like very deep tech research. Yeah, at Jupiter and stuff. And then there really isn't a good home to show them, right? And then so after thinking about it, versus creating a completely new domain, right? I'm saying, right? And we're like, okay, hey, you know what? It's probably a lot easier to move to use the Jupe Research as is, right? I'm saying, but preserve the current forum and put it to discuss on Jupe. Yeah.
But anyway, by the way, more accurate and precise. What's happening on those research forums right now is a ton of discussion. So now at discuss.jupe.ag, All the content has been migrated. You'll be able to see every single thing that was in there. It's also going to redirect for the next week or so. So if you still accidentally type in Jup, however you spell it, .ch, it'll take you automatically to discuss.jup.ag as well. And then you can expect some, I mean, there's no other way to say it, gigabrain content coming to jupresearch.ch. It's a little bit tricky to say. But yes.
Yeah, no. So to be clear, it's the same forum, right? It's the same forum.
Yeah, nothing. Is a rose by any other name smell less sweet? The answer is yes. This is the exact same conversations, the exact same technology, all the past conversations, all the new ones, all the same things, just moving to a different URL. So we're just migrating the research forums. We're not getting rid of it or anything like that.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's not RIP. There's no RIP. It's still there.
Yeah. But one thing that very exciting for me is that I think we have been doing a lot of like very cool stuff. Why?
Jupiverse, what is up with Kash and his new metaphors? Can someone check on him?
No,
I think it's Shakespeare, by the way.
Anyway. And then we've been doing a lot of like important stuff, and then I think it's time for us to kind of like take that ideas and put them out. Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
that's the idea. Suvi has asked, can we also get a new UI layout? I get flashbanged at night when going to the forum. Let's see what we can do. Maybe talk to Sambino about it. Maybe drop that on feedback.jup.ag. We use a tool called I think it's called Discourse. That powers that platform. I'm not sure if they have a dark mode, but we can certainly look into it if people are interested in it.
But honestly, it's actually very, very, very powerful though. I mean, like a lot of like very robust things happen there.
Yeah, I mean, in many ways, most of the DAOs happen there. Many kind of new ideas have been pitched over there. I think it's been incredible. RJ says, I honestly spent a lot of time at Jup Research and learned a lot. I mean, me too. You're not alone.
We might actually continue posting some stuff in there, like the more technical stuff in there as well. We probably would, but then we really need a home and identity for the research stuff.
Yeah,
same thing. Yeah, but the discussions might still happen. Like even for the technical stuff, the discussions might still happen on that.
Yeah,
forum. That's it. Done.
Can happen both. I think the idea is pretty simple. The existing Jup Research, which has now been migrated, is really a home for discussions across all topics, from products to the DAO to technical things. But we need a place to put literal research papers, research essays, research insights. I think I saw Scarlett or somebody else say in the chat, it's about the, like, when are we going to get updates from Nick and the rest of the JupNet team? Those are all going to go over there as well. So for the really kind of advanced technical research essays, that's where they're going to live. And then discussion, either of that research or of anything else, will be on discuss.jup.ag. Hopefully that makes some sense. I think people starting to get it. All right, cool. Yeah, it'll be nice to have somewhere to talk about JupNet specifically, says Wake. We should make that a category on discuss.jup.ag as well.
Yeah, but basically, I think a lot of the JupNet research will be on Jup Research. Yeah, I mean, most of the Jup Research stuff will be JupNet. Yeah.
On the Jupiter, yes. That's where a lot of the cutting edge technological breakthroughs are happening, is on the Jupiter. Although there's a lot on routing as well.
We hope to break through.
We hope to break it. But there's some major advancements happening on jup.ag as well. Like, we should definitely get the routing guys and to put up some of their research there as well. Anyway, that's your heads up. It's a URL change. That's really all it is. And there's going to be a creation of a new site with new content coming there as well. So just keep an eye out for that. Kash and Meow really. Oh yeah, why are we? I'm just realizing that we're matching accidentally. But
twins. I mean, sorry, Jup Sync. Sorry, bro. Sorry, you know.
Sorry, not sorry. Although his is from Uniqlo and mine is from Laura Piano. That's not true. Mine's not from Laura Piano. I think mine's from like Mossfor or some shit. Anyway, that's it for this week in the Jupiverse. No, we're not going to do that, Isaac. I'll tell you that much.
All right, let's go. Let's go.
Let's go.
All right, let's go.
All right,
my turn. Let's go.
Let's go. Before we get to our very special guest, who's going to be coming up in about 5 or 10 minutes with an announcement for, I think all of Solana is going to be excited for. I think some Sager's going to be excited for. First, let's have a little bit of a frank talk about Jupiter.
Okay, so now, frank talk. Let's go.
Frank talk. Let's go.
No more slides. Let's go.
Hey,
let's go. No more slides. Let's go. Okay. So first of all, I think that where are you going?
Keep going.
No, just come in.
Give me a second, brother.
It's okay. On screen, bro. Just smoke. It's fine.
I'm trying not to encourage the youth to vape. I was vaping. I won't lie to you. It's late.
Can I try?
Yeah, sure. Man has one cigarette with the goats in Nepal, and now all of a sudden he's a vapor. For what it's worth, I hate vaping. I'm trying to quit. It's just
fuck off.
I am trying to quit. It's just
fuck off.
Hard. You want me to keep going?
Yeah, keep going. What the hell?
all right, I thought we were friends and you wanted to live a long lifetime together. But maybe
Nah,
not.
it's-
Maybe not. All right.
All right,
Frank talk.
All right,
Serious,
so-
serious.
All right. Okay. On the rest serious note, I feel like there has been a very very large number of topics, right? That has been that people have been talking about, right?
Mm.
And obviously, I think so over the past few months, like most of my focus has been on like a lot of the product stuff and trying to get everything on the clear roadmap,
Mm.
right? I'm saying, right? And I would say that in this call, it's not possible for us to like answer everything, right? But the reason for us doing this is that we want to actually like force ourselves to come in front of everybody, right? And articulate the problems first, right? Because what do you say?
Oh, I said I didn't make this up. Somebody else said it, but the line is a problem well-defined is a problem half solved. And so we want to spend a lot of time kind of thinking through what are the problems specifically and urgently, and how do we start to prioritize those problems as we start to think of solutions. So that is the basic idea.
Yep.
Okay. So
and then all right. So the first thing, so first things first. All right. The first thing I would say is that there's a lack of clarity around the overarching project goals, right? Is that and so I think Jupiter was like pretty clear maybe a year ago, right?
Oh,
I think
the simple days, yeah.
I think but in the last 1 year we really exploded, right? See what I'm saying? We started working on a ton of stuff, right? We're working on Perp, started working on the Jupiverse. Obviously, the Jupiverse is a really big effort for us, right? And of course, we also Jupnet as well. And then we had a number of like mobile and pro and portfolio, and also obviously also a whole bunch of other projects that came on too, right? So I'm saying, so I feel like
Moonshot, etc.
we have not really kind of refocused and like bring more clarity, right, into kind of what the overarching project goals are. In some sense, kind of like what is Jupiter here for almost, right? You know what I'm saying, right? And I think it's actually very, very important to actually like really like articulate clearly, right? That's the first thing. I think that it's time for us to like, you know, maybe like take a step back into our system and think very hard about that. You know, yeah. That I'll say the first thing. By the way, I think as I'm going through this thing, what will be very helpful is that if we just like talk to it, I'll bring the comments, right? I'm saying, yeah, I think I think it's actually very important. I feel like in the I feel like it's time for us to really just have a very, very clear idea, right, for what we're working on and what like, so we got all these fucking things to do, right? Actually, it's all simple. Actually, it's like because we have this actually quite simple. We actually have one goal, right? It's like we actually really believe in the idea. We think the future is going to be 1 million chains, 1 billion people on chain, and the trillion tokens, right? You know, and I think that the whole, and also obviously kind of like the GUM, right, the giant user market, right? But I think it's not very clear to people right now, like how everything fits into that vision, right? So I feel like what's actually very important for us is to kind of like, you know, be able to put together all the key ideas. And can I put a comment quick? This comment.
You want to finish the point and then talk about it?
No, number two.
Okay, sure.
And I feel like it's also related, right? Because I feel like I mean I can't say much about the token one or not, but I think it's all part of the same story, right? Like if we are not able to kind of clearly articulate like how we see the future and how all the things that we do are part of the future, right? See what I'm saying? So I feel like that's actually quite difficult. So I wouldn't do that. You know, very important.
Yeah, I think that there's obviously a lot of the right pieces kind of already in place, right? Like we strongly believe in this idea that the world is moving on chain. We strongly believe in the global unified market being a net new thing that has never existed before and is going to create untold amounts of value. And we definitely know that Jupiter wants to be at the center of that picture, both driving it forward and bringing new people along for the ride. The idea of aggregate everything is a great point, and it's still something that we want to do. But now, you know, you have things like Portfolio, which is, I guess, aggregating DeFi projects, but some things like mobile. There's a world in which it's almost like we want to aggregate everyone on chain or something like this. We got to try to figure out how to tell that story more precisely. That includes not just Jupiter products itself, but also Moonshot and Drip and all the other kind of teams that we brought in, as well as all the other kind of activities that we're doing across everything here. So yeah, the giant universal market not going anywhere. That's still, I think, the end game here for finance broadly. We got to just kind of double down on that and make clear how this all comes together.
All right. Secondly, one of probably the hardest thing to talk about here is that there's probably a pretty big widespread perception, right, that the DAO has not been productive, for Jupiter, right? I'm just curious, what do you guys think? If anyone can put us the comments, that'd be great.
Yeah, I think I can tell that Meow did the slide because you can see that the capitalization is kind of uneven here. Widespread perception that the DAO.
Kash, when do you say something about this? What do you think? Yeah,
I think that it is. Can I be honest then?
Yeah.
Should we just talk honestly? It's like midnight, so fuck it. I'm not even gonna fuck around.
Be honest. Yeah,
I think that the truth is that most DAOs are somewhat silly, right? Let's just call it a spade a spade. They're mostly, I mean, I think a lot of governance was kind of invented as a disguise for tokens to have some kind of other narrative that was not for them to be securities, so that the U.S. SEC and administration would not get mad at them. And so we kind of invented this idea of governance, which kind of worked, kind of didn't. And you have a whole lot of governance tokens that don't do any governing whatsoever. And I think with the Jupiter DAO, one of your goals really early on, as you kind of incepted it, was okay, let's actually give this a shot. Let's actually make a DAO that is able to push forward the project and push forward the entire community. And I think as we've been trying to do that, there's been a lot of lessons. We've been learning very quickly. We're doing things that no one else has done. And as a result, there are problems that come up. We are fighting against this general tide where the core kind of reality of most DAOs is that they don't really work. And as we're trying to kind of experiment our way to make them work, we're making some, I would even say some mistakes we've made in the past. And I think that has led to a general public perception where it's kind of only reinforced, because Jupiter DAO is by far the largest and most active DAO around. And so in that sense, the kind of weight of all DAOs is on the shoulders. And there's this pre-existing narrative that DAOs are kind of silly and kind of unproductive. And I think that's kind of spread to Jupiter, particularly as the token price has gone down. That obviously, we have to admit that that's part of this equation as well. If Jupiter's at $5 right now, I don't think that people would be talking like that. And quite honestly, we've had to figure some things out and learn some things along the way. There's a lot of things we want to do about this. There's a new DAO resolution that we're going to talk about later on in this call that will kind of more fully explain some of the ways that we can help improve the proposal process specifically. But there is no doubt that broadly we're fighting an uphill battle to change the perception that the DAO is unproductive into the perception that the DAO is critical to the future of the success of the project. That's what I would say.
I mean, I'll say this right now. Think about it, right? I think there are three things I want from a DAO. Three things, okay? Now, the first thing on DAO is that I really want to establish a DAO, right, as like a system that is actually really the main driver for the growth of Jupiter's platform and projects, right? See what I'm saying? The second thing I want for DAO is that I really want a DAO to be a global community, right? See what I'm saying? Right? A global community of people who is out there pushing the Jupiter Web4 ideas, the key ideas of web form, the key ideas of decentralization matter, and everything. See what I'm saying? Right? Third thing I want for a DAO is that I really want a DAO to be almost like how do I put it? Like a unit of like unit entity that is actually unifying, like they're really unifying the community and getting a lot of getting the key content and ideas and solidifying the community, right? Now, but however, I think that the last thing is that obviously adding value to like the token as well. See what I'm saying? To be fair, see what I'm saying? I really think that a DAO can become a unit whereby it adds value to the project, the community, and ecosystem. See what I'm saying, right? However, I feel like right now probably the challenge right now is that I think a lot of people, particularly those who are not actually engaged in the community that much, they might not think so.
Yeah,
right. I think so. That's probably a challenge.
There's two parts of this problem. So as people in the comments are saying, there is absolutely a number of very productive members in the DAO. Many of them have been on this call before. It's not to say that people in the DAO are unproductive. Correct. It is the perception that the DAO as a whole is unproductive. Those are two different very
Yes,
different things.
correct.
So one is, okay, how do we take the good work that's happening right now and better communicate it to the rest of the world so that they understand the value that the DAO is creating? And then part two is, okay, well, we're already, I think somebody, maybe it was Molu, my guy, said much better than most DAOs. That might be true, but the goal is not to be better than
Most
a bunch
are
of bad.
terrible,
Yeah, exactly.
Course, yeah.
And nothing but love for Molu, who is himself one of the more productive members of the DAO. But the goal, we hold ourselves to a higher standard. The goal is not just to be better than most DAOs, which I think we objectively probably are. But the goal is to be like critical to the growth of the Jupiter ecosystem, right? And so that is the work that needs to be done.
And not just it's like it's also I think I really want to get to a system about everyone thinks, right, like the broader community actually wants the DAO to succeed. See what I'm saying, right? Right now there's actually it's actually a very problem right now. There's actually a bit of a bit of a system, like a fight between the holders and the DAO. See what I'm saying? And then that's actually very unproductive. See what I'm saying? So I think we have to kind of like really create a situation about how do we make the work groups more productive as well. See what I'm saying?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Hey, can you pull this up real quick about
Which
the
one?
whole the team thing, the team token thing?
Which one? This one here?
No, yeah. No, go. Shit. So actually one thing is actually, one thing is important here, right? Is that like
Looking for a comment, folks. Give us 1 second.
So here's the thing. Now, the team does not
Just
have...
read the comment in case somebody's listening.
Sorry?
Just read the comment. In case
Sure.
somebody's listening.
So someone is saying that like like no one doubt on the team professionalism, but if team has the majority of voting power from the allocations, what's one of a doubt, right? Now, first of all, there are a number of things here that is like a little bit off.
Yeah.
Right. Number one, thanks for not doubting the professionalism. Right. We work really fucking hard, by the way, right? The
20 right out here.
The second thing is that no, the team does not have the majority of voting power.
Not
right. I'm saying not even close. Right. Actually, one of the things that we do a lot is that for example, me, like my allocation and the strong allocations, is that they're not voting. I'm saying,
They're not voting because you don't have it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Right?
So,
No,
but
but
just to be super clear on one thing, any unvested allocations are not able to participate in governance. This is not true of all token projects, by the way. But yeah, only liquid tokens are able to participate in governance. And you have no liquid tokens, and neither does Yang, outside of what you bought on the open market.
Yeah. Anyway, so what's actually really important here is that, and also it's also really important not to say that it's not free allocation, right? The team actually worked their ass off it for many years.
Free. It's the worst free deal I've ever seen. I mean,
No. Seriously, the team worked extremely hard for many years. See what I'm saying right now. Now, we can debate about ASR and about whether that makes sense, right? So I'm saying that we can debate that, right? But I really want to be very, very clear once and for all, right? That it's not a free allocation for a team. The team worked really freaking hard.
They're paying for it in blood, sweat, tears, and time.
Yeah, for
and energy,
many years,
right?
to be clear, right? So I'm saying, right? So that's actually very important. And again, we can debate the whole like ASR thing. I'm saying we should get,
and we will,
which we will, right? However, I think that the idea that the team don't deserve to vote or shouldn't be anything or has relevance is complete fucking bullshit. See what I'm saying, right? That's one thing. But then again, I understand the concerns. My point is that we actually do way more. Again, guys, we do way more. We do way more, right? No, we do way more, right? So I'm saying to actually help the user, to actually make sure that the team doesn't actually overtake the voting rights. By the way, in most cases when there's DAO, right, sometimes the treasury just votes outright. In a lot of L1s, hey guys, hear me, okay? In a lot of cases when there's an L1, right? The L1 tokens they actually take all the treasure and put into staking. See what I'm saying, right? We don't do that stuff. See what I'm saying, right? So I think okay, again, I'm super up for like discussing the whole ASR thing, but it has to be understand something, right? That three things. It's not free. Okay, any job that the team has, we worked on many years, way when Solana was $8. See what I'm saying, right? And so it's actually the second thing, again, earn just to be clear, right? See what I'm saying, right? Again, I think that I appreciate your comment, by the way. I really appreciate your comment, right? I also appreciate comment and stuff, right? Now, but the reason, three things, okay? Number one, the team does not have free tokens. We earn any token that the team gets, they earn it like crazy, right? See what I'm saying? And the second thing that's actually very important right now is to understand that I think is that like the team actually has as much a point to make as anybody to vote and participate, right? Now, whether the ASR thing is an important topic, we'll talk about next time. But I want to actually establish those facts first. It's not fair at all to make those facts.
I agree.
Does it make sense?
Totally agree.
Okay, yeah,
Totally.
let's go. Yeah, but again, thanks everyone for the comments. I really appreciate everyone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And especially good faith, like good faith criticism, like Earn, I guess is the name. Appreciate that. And anybody else, I think we can have reasonable differences of opinion as long as we treat each other respectfully, and you're clearly doing that, so we appreciate that. But that brings us to the third point here.
Yeah. Okay. So the third very painful point is this, right? It's like, and it's so painful for me. But this point is so painful for me. By the way, it's so painful for me, right? Fuck. Oh.
Say it.
All right, I'm gonna say it.
It has to be said.
Has to be said. Unfortunately, it feels like the Jupiverse has lost the meaning.
Oh, that's not what I thought you were going to say.
Yeah, I mean, like pretty much.
Okay.
Right? No, it's like we don't actually discuss what the goal of the Jupiverse is anymore. We don't. Like the 99% of the discussions about what the Jupiverse is not about the goals, the objectives, how to collaborate, how to work together, how to advance the meta,
Bring more people,
right?
on chain,
How to bring out the
etc.
win, how to improve the product, how to bring people on chain. See what I'm saying? We are not talking about any of these things. No, we're not talking about any of these things.
What are we talking about instead?
ASR. That's all we're talking about, right? It's all we're talking about, ASR. You see what I'm saying, right? And I feel like that's actually something that I feel very, very hurt over. You see what I'm saying, right? And one of the reasons why I think is I'm here today is to address this point as well. Again, guys, I'm here to address these points. Okay, that I think that the roughest thing that's going on right now, right? It was the roughest thing anyway. Is that I think this is the problem that we have like over the last like year or so. I think as the token price has not done well, we began focused more on ASR, right? The rewards of things, right? More than about what we're here for, right? So I'm saying, and more about having a goals to work together, right? So I'm saying,
it's a funny thing, like these kind of unintended second order effects, right? So like when ASR was your idea, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. Sorry. Before I think one thing real quick, right? I think I think ASR was meant as a bootstrapping mechanism.
Yes.
Right. So I'm saying no.
Yep.
I think ASR was a really, really good like bootstrap mechanism, right? And actually, honestly, I think it was a great idea. Which allowed to come together. And that what's actually important here is that like but at the same time, I think now that ASR is a bit more mature, the question becomes like we need to reorientate, right? Like what we are here for. You know what I'm saying? Like what we are here for, right? And I think that's actually a really important thing to do, you know? Yeah.
Indeed. This ASR question, I think it is the more of a focus it becomes of the popular discourse by token holders and people outside the community, the worse it is, right? The ASR is a way, especially initially, was a way to get to kind of kickstart a lot of the voting process, get people excited about being involved and rewarding people who are participating in governance when it wasn't always so clear what was going to happen next. But there's indeed a lot of Sorry.
And guys, I'll be very frank, right? I'll be very frank, right? So I'm saying is that I feel like the one major problem right now is that I think because we are lacking this like broader goal, how to work together, right? We have became a community whereby like we are constantly farting ourselves to death. So I'm saying, right? I'll just say it right now.
Yeah.
So I'm saying, right? It's like every time there's any issue, right? So I'm saying it's like we just fart ourselves, right? It's like even like for example, like the idea that we are giving, the idea that the DAO is just giving money to the work groups, right? And the work groups are just like selling it and stuff. It's factually not true, right? Why? Because the work groups haven't even gotten yet. See what I'm saying, right? And all the work groups, guys, hear me out, okay? The craziest thing, right, is this, right? Is that we keep farting the work groups over getting it down and everything. But the truth is that it's a 1 year clip and they're not even getting them yet. It's a 1 year away. See what I'm saying, right? So the many people are farting, like the community itself often like fart itself. See what I'm saying? Over the hypothetical scenario, but manifesting the reality. You see what I'm saying? Right.
I think
so
there's a
that's
bit of
actually a
a-
very big problem. I'm saying.
Yeah, I think that, like, the scapegoating in general is a common thing that happens when communities run into adversity, right? You see this in basically every country during any time of turmoil, and we're seeing it in the community right now. I want to be better than that. I want the community to be better than that, and I believe the community is better than that. And I think that it's important for us just to call it out for what it is. It is a problem. Do we have the exact solution right now? No, but as I said, a problem well defined is a problem half solved, and this is clearly, I think, becoming an issue. So I think we need to continue thinking on this topic. We need to have some real talks about it and kind of figure out where it goes from here. So
I actually to make sure simple. We actually need to create more mechanisms for the Jupiverse to work together.
Yeah,
see what I'm saying, right? Make sense?
it
I
does.
think that's actually very important. I think that
you trying to do?
no,
What are you trying to do?
it's fine.
Yeah, I was trying to find a comment.
I feel like what's actually really important here is that I think that we need to actually like focus a lot more on. We actually need to focus a lot more on like we actually need to have we need to focus a lot more on creating better systems for do it together. See what I'm saying? I think it's very important. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. All right,
And
last one was
last
here.
but not least,
Yeah.
is that I think that I think we need a much better system for like transparent meritocracy. I think one of the major issues that people are bringing up as well is that I think there isn't a clear way of people. There isn't a clear way of people to there isn't a clear way of people to actually become to be part of the community. See what I'm saying? Right. So I think it's actually really important here to actually allow people to actually come together, right, in a more transparent way. I think that's actually another big problem as well. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, did you have one more on here? I'm clear about Nick's major steps for Jupiter. What does this mean?
Sorry, what's that?
This is the next
Oh
one
no,
here.
I just think that we actually need to do a lot better job in terms of like communicating, like what are the next major milestones, right, for Jupiter. So I'm saying whether it's like the mobile app, the Jupiter AG, or whether JupNet or everything. I'm saying so that's actually important.
It is
So guys, in summary, I just list out a lot of different things about Jupiter that you need to fix. So I'm saying, right? Again, no exact quote unquote solution right now, right? So I'm saying, but I think that these are all like things that we're going to keep working on. Yeah.
We have some small steps towards a potential solution that we're going to talk about in a little bit inside of the draft of DAO Resolution number 2 that we're going to need your feedback on. But before we get to that, should we bring on our special guest?
Let's go. Yeah.
Should we bring on a special guest? I don't know, chat. Should we bring on a special guest? Drop a little JM in the chat if you're excited to bring on a very special guest. He's new to the ecosystem, and he has been just, I'm going to swear right now, so if you're around your kids, cover their ears, fucking crushing it lately. My God, these guys have been just, I mean, there's one thing to be good at, idea generation and memetics. There's another thing to also be executing at the extremely high level. So I'm thrilled to invite onto the call OSF from REKT. OSF, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Go.
Do it. This. There we go.
There we go. How you guys doing?
Oh, brother. Cruising as usual. What can I say? How you doing, my guy?
I know the feeling, man. I know the feeling. We've had like crazy busy last few days and weeks and months, to be honest with you. So just like, when all the days just blend into one because you're like not sleeping at normal times and waking up at random times and just doing shit. That's where I'm
brother,
right now.
preach to the choir on that one. But so to kick off here, for people who don't know, do you mind bringing them up to speed on what is REKT Drinks? And then we can talk about what's happened next.
Yeah, I'll give you the quick 1 minute on it. So REKT Guy started out as an NFT project. It was a free mint for everyone. We built a really strong community over about 2 or 3 years, and we decided that there was some value in REKT as something that people identify with or relate to. We all get REKT in crypto. We all get REKT in real life. REKT is just like a part of life. And we felt that was a very strong brand, if that makes sense. So what we decided to do is we're like, okay, how do we make this brand as big as possible? Let's make like a real world product that we can have that people can go out there and actually like see, touch, even taste as well, right? So we decided to make these, which are REKT drinks. So they're just flavored sparkling water. We have zero experience in CPG, zero experience in drinks, zero experience in beverages. Yeah. So we really
amazing.
we really just made this whole thing up as we went along. But in October last year, we launched our first batch of drinks. We sold out of about 222,000 drinks in the space of, I think, 48 hours, and people were able to earn
Amazing.
coin. Yeah, REKT coin from it, which is what we've decided to incorporate as not incorporate, but officialize as the brand coin and trying to push this brand coin narrative as well. So yeah, a bit of a weird journey, but that's kind of how we've got to where we are now. And I've gone from being a trader to a crypto guy to just flogging sparkling water now. So that's my progression in life.
Life comes at you fast, brother.
Exactly.
I think as a brand coin, you guys have really been kind of pioneering in this space. There's a few antecedents as well. There's some other folks that have been doing some good work, but I think lately no one has really been executing at your level here. But it's Meow do it. Every time Meow reaches over for the
I'm wondering where he's reaching over to. Actually, I just see this hand.
Yeah, this is. I'm gonna sit back here.
Gonna wreck. I define it. I had to find it. Yeah.
I'm just catching strays over here.
Okay.
Don't laugh at that, OSF. I thought you and I were buddies. What the fuck is going on right now?
Okay, let's go. Okay. So anyway, all right. So all right.
The anaconda is famous in Silicon Valley. Let me tell you that. That's a Chamath reference.
All right.
Anyway,
Okay. So okay. Next time. Let's
all right. Well, there's a big announcement that you guys have to make as well. So in addition to having been crushing it for a little while, there's a big thing that's happening right now. OSF, what is happening right now?
We are on Solana. REKT is on Solana. We've used the Layer 0 technology to bridge.
Let's
REKT
go.
over Solana. No more expensive mainnet Ethereum fees. You can just go there, buy $1, buy 10 cents of REKT, and not lose oil and gas. But yeah, we're officially on Solana. This happened pretty fast. We chatted to Meow over the weekend, and we're like, okay, let's just do this and make something big.
Do it, yeah.
Special. So it's been a very busy last 2 days for us, but yeah, we managed to get over that. So you can now trade REKT on Solana. I believe we just put out a tweet on it from the REKT coin account. So there's all the information there on how you can bridge, where you can go to, the contract address, etc. And yeah, that's hopefully the start of a lot more things to come with you guys and what we have planned.
Folks, drop a little W in the chat here for just a killer team and a killer community coming over to Solana as well. REKT. It is verified, so don't fall for any imposter tokens or anything else like that. You can find that over on Jupiter right now. And that's not all. As you come to Solana, what are you doing? What are you doing over on Solana?
We will be doing a limited special edition Jupiter REKT drink.
Let's go.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good.
You're so fake.
It's gonna be good. I think we have the can up here, right? Yeah. First attempt at the can design up here, but yeah. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna have the when we usually sell REKT drinks, they're usually sold in packs of 24 cans. So you buy one unit, you get 24 cans. So we're gonna have 2,222 packs up for sale. So it's a very small, limited run. Much more than we usually do. And it's going to be open to people who have been staking Jupe, and we'll put out the full details on how you qualify for that as well, and also people who own REKT coin as well. So we've taken those snapshots, and we will have a full tweet up there, hopefully at some point today, with all the details on how you can access that, with the plan to launch it next week as well. So it's going to be it's awesome to partner with you guys, and we love making these drinks. So I think this is going to be like a pretty fun one to make. It will be one that will be on pre-order, so we'll have to go out there and make these drinks, and then we'll be able to ship them to everyone. So it's going to be you guys should come to the factory and see how it's made. Make a little trip over to the UK. Yeah,
that sounds like a blast. Actually, I could go back to London.
So actually, real quick is that these drinks will be available pre-order for only for Jupe stakers. Right,
and REKT coin holders as well.
Jupe staker record holders and stuff, yeah. And then you also be eligible if you pre-order the drinks.
It's not just
you also be eligible for drank points. Drank points, right? See what I'm saying? Which could be redeemable for some cool stuff later on.
What can you tell the people about drank points, buddy?
Yeah, the last 3 drinks drops we've done, the drank points ended up converting into REKT coin. So people were able to buy drinks and then end up getting REKT coins. So you will get drank points for these drinks, and you know, one of those complete the sentence type moments, I think.
It's one of the, you know, over on that side, so we gotta yeah.
But yeah, we're gonna juice up the rewards on this one compared to the last drops. It's a smaller drop as well. It's obviously much more than what we usually do. So yeah, it'll be a good one. You know, it's going to be great to get people in the Solana community into our REKT community and get more people drinking REKT drinks. My goal is to get the whole world drinking REKT drinks.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
I love this. You know,
exactly.
I think
Amazing.
people talk a lot about like, you know, liquid death as like a case study of like, you know, how you can grow a beverage brand by being whatever edgy, et cetera, et cetera. I am extremely excited to watch the REKT brand continue to grow using these kind of like incentive mechanisms or this coordination mechanism of the token to kind of bring the community together, create a sense of identity, and kind of align interests for everyone all the way around. And so, yes, Jupiter stakers, just for you, you'll need to have more than 1,000 Jupe staked, but just due to the limited supply. But if you have more than 1,000 Jupe staked, you will be eligible and able to pre-order this next week. The snapshot's already been taken. When you get it, you'll get some drank points as well, which things could happen with, I guess, is what we could say. But it should be very good. I am very excited. I will definitely be picking up at least one case over here, both to drink and to keep as a souvenir. I think it looks awesome. It's going to have to go in my background back home. But I think what's so exciting about this is, of course, the drink itself, the collaboration itself, having an excellent community, an excellent team on Solana is great. But really, it's this kind of larger picture around brand coins and where kind of Web3 and now what we're calling Web4 is going. So maybe, Meow, you can talk a little bit about Web4.
So one of the things that we really... So anyway, just a quick context is that I met OSF, I think, last year.
Yep.
Last year, right?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Was that...
Where at?
We actually never met in person, but we met.
Yeah, but we
on
actually
Twitter.
talked after the
last
June.
year. Yeah,
But the
very first.
OSF hosts an amazing podcast. So funny, so good.
I'm not as funny as you guys, but we're more of a dry sense of humor than the energy you guys have.
So good. Anyway, so good. Anyway, so good, right? So anyway, we had a really fun chat, right? Everything we kept in touch. I've been trying to. Oh yeah, Skylar watched for more hour. I'm saying yeah. So lots of people watch for more hour, right?
Yeah.
So I think so. I mean, for a while now, and I think that in essence, long story short is that we have been kind of in touch for a while now about I keep trying to meet, but we never actually got to meet, right? See what I'm saying? But anyway, I think over the past few months, I've been really impressed by what REKT is doing, and it's actually interesting, right? I think you and me, we have similar instincts, right? We're like, hey, you know what? There's obviously something here that's going on about the meme coin movement, or meme coins, right?
Yep.
So I'm saying, but sometimes it felt a bit empty, right? So I'm saying it's like, okay, like, are we just doing everything and stuff for the chart?
Short-term pumps and dumps.
Yeah, so I'm saying, and there's nothing behind the coin. You see what I'm saying, right? Behind coin. It's just nothing. It's just mostly the only thing that matters is the price in the chart. See what I'm saying, right? Obviously for us, I think we don't always succeed, but we try really fucking hard to try to build like the Jupe token to be almost like, I mean, we call it like the community currency or the social money for Jupiverse. See what I'm saying, right? Makes sense, right? And obviously I think and so anyway, I see you working really hard to kind of create a new meta of brand coins. Right, so I'm saying, yeah. So you want to share a little? So I wrote an essay about Web4 recently about like how I think it's about how do we create a world of like millions of meaningful currencies. You see what I'm saying, right? I'm saying I think it's actually very important. So yeah, I think that but actually, why did you wrote a really great piece about the idea of brand coins, right? So I'm saying, you want to share more about that? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So the meme coins, I think, is a very broad term. What defines a meme coin? Like
all coins are meme coins.
Yeah.
All coins are meme coins. Yes.
Oh, number one, Bitcoin is the OG meme coin, by the way.
Yes. Bitcoin is a meme coin. USD is a meme coin. Gold is a meme coin. We're all meme coins, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think number one, that. Number two, like Pepe, obvious meme coin. Trump. I guess Trump is kind of like a meme, but it's a person, right? Like
Trump is actually more a brand coin, by the way. Trump is much more of a brand coin.
Exactly. So my view of meme coins, or the definition of it, is something that doesn't have utility or doesn't have cash flows. Like that's what we bucket everything into a meme coin. So when we started with REKT, and we're like, hey, we have this REKT meme coin that you can earn from buying drinks and whatnot. When we started with that, it's like, yeah, we're kind of like in this meme coin category, but REKT isn't really a meme. It's not like a famous meme that everyone knows. There's no real imagery around it apart from REKT guy, but that's kind of in its own little thing. So, but REKT is a brand. Like we have a drinks brand, we have a lifestyle brand, and people do feel like they can identify with it and relate to it. So, let me give you an example, right? Let's say you go and buy a Coca-Cola. Your interaction with that is you buy the drink, you drink it, hopefully you enjoy it, and you've given them your money, and then you kind of just walk off. Like that's your interaction with Coca-Cola. Now, let's say you want to support like a local drinks brand that's up and coming. How do you do that? You go and buy their products at a very early stage. And if they go on to kill it within 5 years, what do you have to show for it? Not really anything, right? Like you maybe have some pictures of you, or some bragging rights, but that's kind of it. So now imagine you go buy a REKT drink and you're able to earn some REKT coin from it, and you hold on to your REKT coin. In 5 years' time, if we kill it as a drinks company or as a brand, what will happen to that coin? Will it go up or down? It will, obviously go up in price. Does the coin necessarily have specific utility such as ownership of the IP or direct cash flows, direct revenues? No, not necessarily, not directly, even though we've done some buybacks, but it's not like a direct mechanical thing. But is that mutually exclusive with the price going up or down based on how the business does? No. So I think that's the main idea. It's like what we've constructed. I think the reason why it seems to be working, the way that we're approaching it is like, okay, we've been able to create. If I woke up tomorrow and was like, I'm going to make a drinks company, I'd have no chance, right? But Web3 has allowed us to build a community, a brand, and an IP in a very accelerated fashion, and because of the reward systems that you have within the space. And now we're at a point where it's like, okay, everyone who's kind of early in it gets a piece of the pie, and if we kill it, everyone's going to do really well. And I think that's a really, it's kind of like this hybrid between meme coin, internet capital markets, and brand coin stuff, etc., but utility, whatever it is. But I think this is just calling it what it is. We're not saying this has a ton of utility. We're not saying it's a full meme. We're saying, look, if we do really well and you feel like sentimentally happy about this, how would you put that trade on? You would buy the token, right? So that's the idea we're trying to push, and that's kind of like the main idea that I had behind brand coins.
Actually, one thing that's actually important, OSF.
Yeah.
Actually, bro, I still know what should call you. OSF? What should I call you?
OV or OSF? OV's my real name, but you can call me OSF.
OV, okay, OV, awesome, OV, right? OV. All right, so OV, it's funny, I always call you OSF, right?
That's cool.
Right. Okay, OV, so
He calls me Meow. So
one, it's funny.
Exactly.
So one of the key ideas I push on the web for I say, right, is that like, he's funny, he's so on brand. It's amazing. Yeah,
Everything. Yeah, you have to, right?
We can do that shit. What's wrong with us?
I literally don't own any Jupiter merch. You never give me any.
Oh
well,
my god.
you will have some
Terrible.
Jupiter drinks. You have some Jupiter drinks soon. So there you go.
Yeah, we're very much looking forward.
That's amazing. Yeah. Okay. But the point, right? So Obi. So one of the things that I really wanna kind of push, right, is the idea that like every money, right, is a tool for community. See what I'm saying? To essentially grow, attract, or incentivize, or modify the behavior, right, of its community. See what I'm saying? But then to either bring more people in the community, change the behavior of existing community. See what I'm saying? Right?
Yeah.
Or to kind of like get the community to do something else more, right? So every token can be seen as that regard, right? So in a sense, every community, right, with the reason why I'm so bullish on the idea of like social monies, right, is because I think that it's time for us to kind of move beyond the idea of like, I think what OV and I say is like financial nihilism, whereby like nothing else matters. Like the point of the token is just for the price alone. You know what I'm saying? But to think about the token, right, as almost like a money that can be used, you know what I'm saying, for a social cause, right? You know what I'm saying? And I feel like brands is a really good way to think about the idea of a community, right? And I think it's also probably the one that is I think very relatable to the mainstream, right? Because the mainstream do not, because the mainstream they don't, because for the mainstream they don't actually what they resonate with is not necessarily cryptography or DeFi or whatever, right? They resonate to brands, right? If there's any one thing that mainstream is brands, you know what I'm saying? So I think in many ways I feel like brands as a brand coins as a symbol for one of the potential social monies that can happen. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that's a pretty powerful thing to have. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I think it is. It also gives you, if you're if you're starting a brand or you're, the beginning of your journey in that, it's like it's really hard to compete with the big guys, right? Like drinks, it's such a saturated market. How can we compete with Coca-Cola, Pepsi, et cetera, et cetera? So I think this is disruptive because it gives us an ability to actually, do some numbers, like sell some drinks. And we've sold about 625,000 drinks in total in just 48 hours of total sales time. The last drop,
that's amazing, by the way, guys. That's amazing, right?
The last drop sold out in 17 minutes, but it's not possible. You see what I mean? It's not possible without Web3. And the other thing I wanted to say is like, if you're a big company or a big brand, on your balance sheet, you will have an asset which is called goodwill. It's an intangible asset. And that's usually something like your brand value. There's no real model-driven way to value that. It's very subjective. And when a company gets acquired, it's usually like whatever, like the enterprise value plus this like goodwill value thing that, that people are assigning as a premium. But with crypto and with us, like, we have this brand coin, you can view that as like a goodwill item on someone's balance sheet, and that's intangible, except it's tangible, except you can actually trade it, except the market can actually value it, people can buy it and people can sell it. And that I think is a really powerful concept. Like, it's this whole, I guess it's the whole idea of like everything should be tokenized. I don't necessarily believe that, but I think this, if you're starting out,
so I want to say that I don't agree the idea that everything should be tokenized. I think that's fucking stupid, right?
Yeah.
I think high five, finally. Yeah, high five. Yeah.
Finally.
But I think the powerful idea here is that every community, every social cause can potentially use a token, right, to power their efforts. See what I'm saying, right? I also think that we should strive for a higher ideal whereby we are not just creating assets that we don't believe in. See what I'm saying? Hey, Obi, do you believe in REKT, the symbol and token?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I believe it too. I mean, despite all the difficulties, despite all the difficulties for Jupe and stuff, I really believe in Jupe. So I'm saying I'm really committed to kind of like the idea of like Jupe as like a social money, right? So I'm saying for Jupiverse and stuff, and then the idea of like Jupe as like a as a symbol, right, for whatever, right? I'm saying, right? Or like you see what I'm saying, right? I also like Jupe as a alignment mechanism for the Jupiverse. You know what I'm saying? We are trying that, right? It's really hard. You know what I'm saying? It's actually really, really hard. But I think we try really hard to kind of anchor the idea of Jupe as like, the social money or the alignment mechanism for the Jupiverse, right? So the goal becomes like, hey, how do we grow the Jupiverse? See what I'm saying, right? And so basically, how do we? So basically, we So the core idea for us, okay, number one, Jupe as like the social money for Jupiverse. See what I'm saying, right? And secondly, how do we allow the Jupe to be used within the Jupiverse, right? And thirdly, how do we grow the Jupiverse? See what I'm saying, right? Makes sense? Right? How do we grow the Jupiverse like 10x? See what I'm saying, right? So I think that's actually our goal, right? Yeah, that's it. So I think in that regard, I think in summary, I think basically me and Ovi were chatting about brand coins. I love his, like, if you guys haven't read his thing about a brand coin, I love it.
Required reading.
And also I think you probably see kind of like some but basically we believe that it's time to move to the next stage. See what I'm saying? No, I think it's fun. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Obi, we got 6,903 people on here right now. Any last words? What would you tell them?
Thanks everyone for listening, and I think we feel very welcomed by the Solana community. We've I had some great conversations with Meow in the last 3 or 4 days, and I think this can be the start of something like pretty interesting because we share very, very similar views, and I think stuff has progressed onto a point now where we're kind of like figuring out like what is the point of tokens, what is the point of crypto, and we're figuring out figuring out ways where it can work by people who are not bad actors, by people who are good actors, and ways in which it becomes valuable to you guys, really, like to community, to people who actually support projects from an early stage. So that's always been our goal from day one, and I think we've cracked the code. We're going to find out over the next few months, but I think we are at least pretty close to cracking the code, I would say.
I think so. You guys are onto something over here. So just to recap it for everybody, REKT, the brand coin, has officially come over to Solana. It is live right now. You can go find it on Jupiter in case you want to get into that. The REKT drink line, the exclusive limited edition drop with Jupiter, REKT X Jupiter. Pre-sale is going to start next week. You'll not only get a case of delicious flavored water, very cool memorabilia, you'll also get drank points, which might be exchangeable at some point for something or other. Go follow OSF_REKT over on Twitter. Go check out the REKT community. They're great, and good things will continue to happen from here. Ovi, thanks for coming on, brother.
Thank you, sir. See you.
Thanks for having me. I'll see you guys soon.
Cheers, buddy. Cheers. God, that's too good. REKT coin, too cool. All right, folks, we are already, listen, if Kash and Meow are together in person, it's going to be a 4-hour call. You have to know that as you sign up for things. So we still have a while to go. I won't lie to you. We got 2 more segments we really want to do. The first one is going to be about the DAO and about a new resolution based on a bunch of community feedback. And then, of course, we're going to finish it off with our guy, Marino, in a special edition of Catdets Corner as well. So let's talk a little bit about DAO Resolution number 2. What do you think?
Yeah, let's go. Yeah.
Let's go. Let's do it. Let's do it. All right. So to kind of tee this up, we want to start by saying, for the difficulties we talked about earlier with the DAO and the widespread perception or some perception that's out there, the DAO has been a pioneer on multiple dimensions.
Yep.
Right. Incredibly active governance. I think it's like 24 votes or 26 votes. I can't even keep track of anymore. So I just wrote 20 plus because I didn't know the exact number. Active community contributors, right? Like dozens, if not hundreds of people have contributed meaningfully and received things back in the form of the J4J ethos. I'm talking here work groups, grantees, content creators, and much more. Pioneered active staking rewards, as we've talked about. There's more conversation that needs to be happening there, but there's you're seeing it being, I don't want to say, we've seen it as an inspiration to other DAOs, shall we say, as work groups have been as well. We see an active revenue stream for the DAO. So not only are 50% of Jupiter's on-chain revenues going to the litter box, which will then the DAO will have access to once that unlocks in 2 years, but we're also seeing an active everyday revenue stream in the form of JupSoul, which again is first of its kind. And most importantly, we're actively improving. So that's 5 activelys in a row for everyone. And one thing that I think we can actively improve on here is around the proposal process itself. So a preliminary draft has been posted to Jupe Research. Don't go crazy. We'll talk about it right now. Major shout out to everyone in the work groups, everyone in the communities, everyone who's come to the town halls, who sent ideas on Twitter, ideas in the Jupe Research forums, for helping put this together. This is very much a collaborative effort amongst many, many people have had their fingers in this. But there is a bunch of stuff to talk about. Let's see if it's all in here. So basically, this is a resolution in 2 parts, right? The first part, what we call 2A, and the second part, 2B. So 2A is around voting thresholds and abstain. 2B is about the way the Jupe allocations are done for the work groups. These votes, if this draft gets enough sentiment and people are kind of into this idea, will go for a vote. They'll go simultaneously, but you'll be able to vote on each individually, right? So maybe you think it's yes on A and no on B or some other kind of such thing, right? That is the idea. Isis says, now we're talking. So let's talk about DAO Resolution 2A. The idea here is that the DAO's kind of most powerful weapon, its most potent weapon, is the social mandate that it provides, right?
Yes.
When this community,
accurate. That the most powerful thing about the most powerful part about the DAO is the social mandate. Yeah.
It's something that only the DAO can provide. No matter how much Meow likes an idea, or I like an idea, or anyone individually likes an idea, there's nothing like 450,000 wallets coming together and voting and kind of endorsing some proposal of some kind, right? And it's important for this exact purpose, right? That social mandate is unique and is what gives legitimacy and credibility to the ways the Jupiverse grows. And as the DAO continues on its journey towards progressive independence, that social mandate becomes even more important. That said, we want to make sure that every time something passes through the DAO, there is that clear social mandate. And so that's why we're proposing right now to increase the passing threshold to 65%. For a simple yes/no votes. Previously, it was 50%. It was a simple majority. Now we're saying, let's make it a super majority, such that every time something passes in the DAO, we know that a super majority of the DAO is on board with it, right? This will only further strengthen the social mandate. Before, at least in theory, we hadn't actually seen this, but you can imagine a 51-49 vote. And then you have a very large minority of people who are unhappy with the direction the DAO is going. That's not ideal. That's not going to bring people together. That's going to drive them apart. So by moving towards this higher threshold, I think we're going to be better able to bring folks together. Big T says W. As a part of that, we also propose removing abstain as one of the default voting options. Now, there are going to be many cases where an option of no change is going to make sense. So this is not that, hey, we can never maintain the status quo, but abstain in particular, I think for me personally, on a philosophical level, I don't love it, right? If ASR is meant to be given out to those who are actively contributing their opinions, abstain is the absence of an opinion. So it's always been a little bit odd to me that abstain was eligible for ASR. But further, just as a practical matter, if we're moving to the supermajority, in keeping abstain is only going to make it harder to kind of get past that, right? So it's hard to increase the supermajority and if abstain. So we're saying, hey, let's kind of even out the playing field a little bit like this. This was going to, again, ensure that the DAO executes on things that have a broad base of support. What does this mean practically if this passes? It means more active campaigning. It means more of a focus on building up awareness among a wider segment of people. It means more coalition building. It means more compromise and putting things in a form factor that a supermajority can get in favor of. I see Pilgrim likes getting rid of abstain as well, as does Isaac, and I see a few others. I mean, today you says it as well. 100% abstain should not be an option. Yeah, so as we say, this has been based on community feedback. Many people have pointed this out. This is not like a new idea. So what we have here is DAO Resolution 2A.
But Slick makes the point though. It's like it's like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I think there are other options and there are other models from here. So for example, you could do like a true abstain, shout out to the CWG for this idea, where we keep abstain, but it's just not included in the majority total. To me, that feels very strange and odd, and I don't like that. It just makes it makes the on-chain voting record more illegible, and there's going to be a vote where somebody gets 59% on-chain yeses, but if you remove the abstain, then it's above 65%, and then people are going to be confused because it's hard to kind of communicate this to nearly 500,000 different wallets and so on and so forth. But I think there's reasonable room for debate here, and so we should have that over in the Jupe research forums, or the discussion forums, I should now say. So there is something to that. I would also say that, like, if you can't be bothered to kind of figure it out, maybe you shouldn't be voting. There's already some degree of butt mashing right now, et cetera, et cetera. And abstain, I think, gives an excuse to people who don't want to do any research, don't want to spend 2 minutes thinking about something, because they know they can just get the ASR right there and kind of farm it. And I don't like ASR farming. So that's the first piece. It seems like broadly supportive, but some ideas in here as well for other things, including by Slick and others, which is great. Looking forward, I'm sure this will be a strong kind of conversation, but hopefully the problem here to solve is clear, right? We want to increase the power of the social mandate. Any other thoughts on this one, Meow, before we go to 2B?
Yeah, I think that it's actually very important to I think we should be 66.7%.
6.7%?
66.7.
Oh, you want the pure, the 2/3?
Yeah, I think it's very important. I think it's very important. It's symbolic, but very, very important. I think, yeah, right? Yeah. I think that I think this is important because I feel like we will remove the idea that the majority of people don't actually vote for it. Same thing, right? Yeah. That's actually a thing,
Yeah. OG says, what if we make abstain not eligible for ASR? These are all ideas that are on the table. The point of the draft proposal...
That's the worst thing.
The point of this, though, is to have that conversation and begin the conversation with some viewpoint where now we can bounce ideas off of it in kind of a structured, formal manner. So if you have thoughts on this, please do take them to the discussion forums, discuss.jupe.ag, and leave some content on there. 69% threshold is best.
Hey,
don't say that. Don't say that.
Come on.
So,
let's go.
Anyway, so yeah, this is the first step to hopefully increase the supermajority vibes. This, by the way, will mean that fewer proposals pass. That is a good thing. That is a feature, not a bug, right? DAOs where you just kind of rubber stamp, and you see this in basically every other DAO, everything just gets kind of yes automatically. That's not like effective kind of governance here. So that's part of the idea of increasing the threshold as well. All right, that's 2A again. Q says it's really something to discuss. Indeed. And we look forward to hearing all the discussions. Maybe you think the number should be 60%. Maybe you think it should be 66.6. Maybe you think it should be 70. Maybe you think we should have abstain in some other fashion. There's a lot of different things that we can do. But Jupe Geo is saying, I am excited about 2B. And so here we go. Let's go to 2B. So DAO Resolution 2B addresses directly one of the primary points of FUD for the Jupe DAO, which is around the Jupe allocations to the work groups. Right. I think we're just being honest here. This is a thing that's come up.
Yep.
This is many voters have reasonably said that the FUD for the Jupe allocations comes from alignment and accountability lacking to some degree. It's interesting to see most of the time people are pretty okay with the operational budget, but they want to say, hey, the Jupe allocation should only really be given once we understand what the performance is like. So that's where, what was that? Juju Girl says some votes are unnecessary. Is just killing vibes. I mean, I believe we're going to fuck around and find out.
Yeah, it's so true, by the way. I think that, I feel like, we have to fix this. Yeah. We have to fix the problem of like votes killing vibes.
Yeah,
we have to. Yeah, we have to kill that.
Yeah, exactly. So the goal is to anchor every vote not on FUD or this accountability or whatever else, but rather to anchor it on what is the potential impact to have here and how does this actually accelerate the DAO's mission. That is the goal. And so as part of that goal, here's what's happening in Resolution 2B. There would be 4 changes made to all future workgroup proposals. Number 1, they'd be limited to a 1-year term. Prior work groups, for example, the CWG or Uplink or whatever else, have multi-year vesting schedules for their Jupe. We propose that those should actually just be 1 year and they should work in 1-year increments. Reason for that, a lot of things change year to year, quite honestly. In Uplink's case, a bunch of the team has changed. I used to be a part of Uplink. Nowadays, OG leads that like a champion. So things change over the course of 1 year. You might need to resettle, refocus, etc. So we should go in 1-year increments. Number 2, the initial budget proposal should not include any Jupe allocation whatsoever. Instead, what it would include is an operational budget and formalized measures for success in the proposal, right? This is not the same as KPIs. We're not saying that I don't think it should be like, oh, if we're going to get 1 million views on Twitter or whatever, because KPIs are fairly gameable, right? Instead, what it should be is a suite, probably like 1 to 3, maybe 4 or 5, kind of different concrete, tangible ways that the work group is going to say, here's how we're going to accelerate the DAO towards this mission. Here's how we're going to get more Jupiter users, better and bigger Jupiter community, and more people with Jupiter ideas in their heads, right? And I think by doing this, by kind of forcing this tangible tying of the work group to the DAO's purpose, we'll get better work groups and we'll have a clearer way for the DAO to understand what those work groups are trying to accomplish. Finally, yes, God, yes, people are digging it. The key idea here is that if a work group cannot come up with reasonable and concrete ways, these don't all have to be numerical, right? There can be other ways that you might look at it. If you can't come up with concrete ways that this is good for the Jupiverse, then hey, maybe you shouldn't be a work group. That's kind of the idea that we want to go for here. And finally, and importantly, at the end of the 1-year term, a formal performance evaluation vote, name TBD, we might change the name around a little bit there, will be done in order to identify how much Jupe should go to the work group, right? Wilson says, wow, this is actually impressive. Both resolutions are a super yes for me. I do like what I'm hearing.
One of the biggest thing here, right, is that like,
if this isn't, Frenchie first, if this isn't bullish, then nothing is. That's what we like to hear. Go ahead. Sorry.
I feel like the biggest thing here, right, is that I think the biggest thing here is the idea that like I think the biggest thing here is actually the idea that like we are creating a situation. The goal here is to create a situation. It's too fast, bro. Too fast. It's good. Like we're creating a situation where we want the work group to actively discuss and work with the community. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Throughout the whole year.
Yes.
About like, hey, how can I do better? How can I actually be good for the Jupiverse? You know what I'm saying? Because I have a major fucking problem right now. See what I'm saying, right? Like the work groups don't actually get the feedback they need, right? And frankly speaking, the work groups also think about it. It's like, for example, for me and stuff, I honestly, truth to God, I only improve when people tell me things, right? You know what I'm saying? If I build a product, the product only improves when people tell me it sucks or what I thought was good. You know what I'm saying? Like every single part of Jupiter is improved based on feedback. That's a very important idea. You know what I'm saying? Every single thing is based on feedback.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying, right? So when there's no feedback, everything just dies. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that's what things missing, right? There's no feedback, there's no like active performance review, right? You know what I'm saying? With say the Catdets work group or like Uplink work group even. You know what I'm saying, right? Uplink doesn't go to the community. Uplink doesn't go to the community and be like, hey, how can I do better? They don't do that enough. No, they don't. Definitely not enough.
Come on, camera, you're moving out.
Definitely not enough. So I'm saying because I do not see active discussions, right? I do not see active discussions on Twitter. I do not see active spaces. I do not see the activity. I don't see anything. So I'm saying there isn't the active mode of like going like there's none. Not from J&J, not from Cadet Group, not from anyone. So I'm saying about like
I think on this one we disagree, but
no,
yeah,
I don't. If I don't see it, it doesn't happen.
I think that's a pretty
No.
myopic worldview.
I no. I track a lot of things on Twitter. All right, so I'm saying if I don't see it, I can bet my bottom line that 99% of people don't see it.
I would agree that 99% of people on Twitter.
That's
will
it
not
done.
see it.
That's the problem. No, you understand something. Hey, Kash, when it comes to work groups, right, it's very simple, okay? If a tree is in a forest and it doesn't fall, did it fall? It didn't fall.
I mean, I said it more just because Twitter is a giant place and there's a lot
No,
of noise in it,
no.
but yeah.
But it doesn't matter. I'm telling you, like when most people do not, when most people know, I said no. That is this whole point.
Uplink did do a feedback survey, it seems, as well.
Yeah, but it's not enough. It's not enough. There needs to be active
Yeah,
discussion.
I think it's fair to say that it's not enough. It's not fair to
It's
say that
not
they're not doing
active.
it at all.
No.
Yeah.
I just said no. That's not enough. I said no, nowhere near enough. I said nowhere near enough. I stand by that statement. Right? Uplink, CAWG, J&J, everyone, right? Does it nowhere near enough. Right? I stand by that. Sure. I stand by point. So I'm saying, I think that's actually very important. I'm saying, you know, right? Yeah, done. It's like a product. I'm like, guys. But by the way, guys, for any work group that's in this thing and stuff, don't be upset by anything, okay? Now, ask Kash, how much effort do I put into creating a lot of channels for users to tell us feedback? Many. Like 99% of my thing and stuff, but there's no performance review, there's no performance, there's no constant loop specifically about how can I do better. Doing spaces is different from a loop around like out there going, how can I do better? It's two different things. See what I'm saying? Right? Make sense? Like for example, hey guys, when I build a product, I actually do something about it. Go, hey, how can the product do better? See what I'm saying? Where's the product missing? You see what I'm saying? That's very important.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say, I think that like Uplink in particular, we just disagree on this point, that I think that
That's
Uplink
right,
they do like weekly spaces. They're putting out monthly reports on all their numbers and exactly what they're doing. They're in the Discord all day. So I know Uplink better than the other work groups just because, you know, obviously I helped to start it and I'm buddies with those guys. But, you know, we have a difference of opinion. Duly
No,
noted.
I love Uplink so much. Guys, I love Uplink so much. You have no idea.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? Right. I'm just saying that I do not see that active feedback loop. Right. And I think that's fair. See what I'm saying? I'm telling you.
I think it is true that you do not see it.
Correct. Precisely. I'm saying.
That is correct.
Yeah. And I see that if I do not see it, some people don't see it.
That part I less agree with.
No.
I mean, it's like DevRel, for example, they're in the Discord talking to the devs.
Yeah, but
right?
I'm just telling you, like you don't see my point, Kash. Hey guys, by the way, we're arguing over here.
It's actually very polite, by the way.
Hey, high five. Hey. So, okay, hey, guys. Now, okay, here's my point, right? A lot of times people go, they talk in the Discord. See what I'm saying? You talk a lot of Discord. See what I'm saying, right? And there's the idea there's an idea that like, okay, because we do things in the Discord. See what I'm saying, right? Therefore, we do things.
This part we're in violent agreement on.
See what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying, right? It doesn't. It's like again, like for example, it's like that loop is very important, right? See what I'm saying? Like people really have to like I stand my point very clearly, right? I'm saying it's like I feel like if I don't see it, most people don't see it. See what I'm saying? Most people don't see it.
I think that
right?
there is no argument to the fact that more can be done. It goes back to what we were saying before with the DAO's kind of widespread perception that it's not that it's unproductive. The reason is they don't see the production. It's not getting in front of the right people. It's
Yes
not
and no. Yes and no. I don't agree with that too. I'm telling you
that was your slide.
No, I'm just saying that. Yeah, I'm saying even more. I'm thinking even more aggressive, right? I'm just saying that very importantly is that like, guys, if we want the DAO to be seen as productive, see what I'm saying? Like for example, Joe and Juice, see what I'm saying, right? For example, Joe and Juice, right? See what I'm saying they haven't really been out there getting top people on Jupiter and Jupiter. They haven't been doing that. See what I'm saying, right? Makes sense, right? But then if they just haven't been doing that. They've been very internally focused stuff, right? See what I'm saying, right? But nothing right, guys. How much better would the Jupe and Juice vote have been? See what I'm saying, if the Jupe and Juice guys actually got a bunch of like top level guys to do and introduce them to the Jupiverse and clip it up and share it out, the vote will be very different. See what I'm saying, right? There'll be very little doubt. There'll be very little doubt to the community and Juice is value for Jupiverse. See what I'm saying? Because they are actually bringing top people into the Jupiverse. See what I'm saying, right? But we don't do that. We're not doing that. We didn't do that. You see what I'm saying, right? Makes sense?
I see what you're saying. It does make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? It's actually very important, right? And again, uplink Duman deploy and stuff, that's great. That's actually awesome and stuff. But what is the impact is not tangible enough. See what I'm saying? That's how I feel. Okay, I'll be honest here. Okay, cool. One of the biggest issues in the last time is that I'm not honest enough. See what I'm saying? I think I see a lot of stuff and things I don't. It's not just feedback. It's not
I think that's true for me as well, by the way. I think that there are times in which I am overly positive or neutral rather than kind of sharing facts. So I think that it's good for us to share our thoughts, and I think it's useful for everybody to do so as well. There are times I feel a little bit hypocritical because I ask everyone to give like their honest feedback, honest thoughts, and sometimes I.
You're too nice,
myself.
bro.
That's
You're too nice.
I'm saying it. I'm a sweetie pie. What can I do?
Hey guys. This guy say a sweetie pie. Guess what? He always open up phone calls with, "Hey, bitch."
Only when I'm talking to you, for the record.
Always. Every single phone call, he starts with say, "Hey, bitch. Hey, the bitch, what's going on?" You see what I'm saying? Yeah, it always
that is true. That is true. Anyway, I think the point overall is definitely a good one. More can be done to be reaching more and more people, and that is the only way that the perception starts to change, and it's the only way that we kind of get more consensus around some of these groups. That I definitely agree. All right. Going back to this DAO resolution, though, there are a bunch more details in terms of, and a bunch of questions for you to go give feedback on discuss.jupe.ag, including how should we structure these bonuses? Who should be voting on them? How are they kind of calculated? There's a lot to figure out here. This is probably, this is not going for a vote tomorrow or, the next day or anything like that. We're going to take our time on the conversation on this because there's a lot of open questions. But the hope is that if we can kind of come to some kind of agreement as a group here, if we can increase the voting thresholds and remove abstain, I think the supermajority and the social mandate becomes much clearer. And if we can solve some of these issues around Jupe allocations, we're going to create more accountability, more transparency, and ultimately less FUD and more excitement around what the DAO is doing.
Can be honest with you as well?
Yeah.
The thing that people are going to be the most happy about is that we're going to exclude Jupe from the budget proposal.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, for sure. Bullish.
You guys say that? We are pushing for not having the Jupe proposal be in the budget proposal. Yeah,
that is true. It is the number one cause of FUD, I would argue, across these DAO votes. And I think that if we can remove it and make these votes a little bit clearer and make them more focused on performance and actual concrete, tangible results, that's better for everybody. Still a lot to figure out, though, as I point out. So please do go check it out. Give your ideas. This one is, I would say, half baked, 3/4 baked. It needs a lot more bacon from all of you folks as well. Oh, Meow, please.
Okay, so
Buy a guy a drink first. Go ahead. It's late, folks. It's like 1 a.m. over here. It's like 1
oh my
a.m.
god.
Go ahead.
Okay. Anyway. So some guys said that they don't really understand the thing. I think that the what it means is simple. Okay, it's like instead of making the Jupe thing a voting thing, it's going to become a more like a standardized thing, that a performance-based thing. They will be voting on in the future versus being part of the proposal. Yeah, that's amazing.
That's right.
Yeah. Let's go.
Let's go. All right, folks. So go give your feedback again. Thank you to everybody who's already participated in coming up with this. A lot of it might change based on what people say. Okay. Tong says, it's understandable that the community is questioning whether the voting process remains fair and truly decentralized. Open communication from the team on this would really help build trust.
I feel like we have actually been very open about these things. I feel like we have always been extremely clean and clear about all the where tokens are and everything. And also we also locked up the first cliff of our thing. And I think but I think that I think what we will do work very hard on is to make sure that the team would not override the majority. That's actually important for me. Yeah. But the team members should have a vote. But I think it's important to not have the team any situation whereby the team actually overtake the majority of the tokens. That's very relevant for us.
Yeah. Can I also just, since we're on the topic of like the team and the voting, I only have Jupe that I bought on the market. I only joined Jupiter in January. It is very bullish for team members to hold onto their tokens, to stake them, and to want to participate in governance and kind of help govern the future.
Yeah, for sure.
Ultimately, Jupe is a resource for all of us. The whole idea is that it aligns the whole Jupiverse, not just like users, but also the team, and also partners, and also speculators as well. Quite honestly, also institutions. Everybody is aligned by this common instrument that we call Jupe, and so they have just as much of a right to say what should happen to the future of the Jupiverse as anybody else does. And in fact, they are major stakeholders. They put in many hours, many tears, a lot of blood, etc., to make this place so great. So yeah, I pretty strongly believe that the team should be voting, and oftentimes has a lot of context and a lot of good ideas and opinions to share. So for what it's worth. Yeah, Ferry says, my brain always shuts down when people claim lack of transparency in Jupiter. Okay, cool. All right, that's it for that one. We're already past the hour-and-a-half mark. Shout out to all 8,105 of you. Let's go into the last section of the call, a long-awaited cadet to bring into the cadets corner. I'm going to need everybody right now to pick up 2 fingers, go to your laptop or go to your phone, find the J key, find the M key, drop a little JM in the chat for our guy, Marino, king of the threads.
Let's go!
What's up, buddy?
Let's go!
Marino!
GM. Oh my God. Amazing. Wow. Good to see you. Finally. Holy shit.
I finally made it.
It's been too long. Marino, for anyone who does not already know, and by the way, shame on you if you don't already know Marino, tell them who you are and what you do.
Yes, so I'm a content creator, mainly for Jupiter and some other Solana projects, and I digest all the stuff you guys shipping and nice readable threads, so people can stay up to date with everything that happens in the Jupiverse.
And you do, as I was saying earlier, a hell of a job of it. There are times that I learn things or learn ways that we should position things based on how you talk to them. I mean, the first and obvious question is, when do you sleep? How do you do this? They're like high quality, they have custom graphics,
and so fast.
And they're so fast. Yeah, it's like,
oh my God, so fast. Holy shit.
Before
so
my
fast,
recording is uploaded, you've got a thread up about it. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, I have like a certain routine, and if you've done it a few times, like the third or the fourth time is go faster and faster. So the first time it took me a lot of effort to make those threads, but now I can make them quite fast actually, because I have my streamline for that.
And just to confirm, you are not an AI. Is that true?
And I'm a real person, like you can see.
I don't know. These AI videos get pretty good.
But we also met in real life on Catdets, Kash.
Total AI.
Yeah. So over there, I couldn't be AI, no.
Well, I don't know. The future moves very quickly, and I don't know what kind of government secrets they have out there. How did you find Jupiter in the first place? What brought you into the Jupiter community?
So I joined the Solana community more like in the NFT hype, the previous cycle. And then in January 2024, I totally got blown off my feet by like a super generous airdrop that I didn't expect it. And that's how I rolled in the Jupiverse, actually. And I started making content about it. So all went quite organically, actually.
I gotta say, that's Jupiverse in action, folks. We talk about that as a way to kind of invite people into the community. Clearly, it worked with you, it seems.
Yeah, but I think Jupiverse 2024 was a mass onboarding event for the Jup DAO. I think many people discovered Jupiter back then.
As perhaps one of the most educated and informed people on the Jupiter product suite and on the Jupiter community, I'd love to hear. Do you have a favorite Jupiter product and why?
That's a difficult question. I think my favorite Jupiter project is actually the DAO, like the voting progress.
Oh wow!
Holy
shit! Crazy.
Yeah, because I think it's super nice that people feel involved in the project and they can vote and they can discuss, and it all works super smoothly and fast as well. Like some other projects that do like DAO stuff. Most of the time it's like in a buggy software, but like in Jupiter, it just feels super intuitive and it's nice and you want to get involved. And of course, the entire project suite like Jup Pro and the perps is all super cool. But I think the DAO parts really distinguish Jupiter from other projects because they really involve the community.
What would you like to see change about the Jupiverse? This is a bit of a hardball, curveball question.
hard curve.
Oh yeah, I think like you already talked about it previously about the votes, like you will stop with the abstain and stuff like that. Maybe sometimes one time we did for one vote, we changed the threshold that you needed more than 50%, because like sometimes I think like the majority voice will win because maybe some people don't care that much. So maybe I think maybe we need to change that threshold more often, I would say. Because like the 50%, most of the time, if you do a vote and it's only 50% that's needed to be succeed, I think like 90% of the cases you will get that 50%.
So it sounds like you're a fan of DAO Resolution number 2.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah, you got some questions for Marino?
Yeah, I think like, I mean, honestly though, what do you think of like all the comments and all the feedback? I mean, you have been saying very positive, right? So thank you so much for being so positive and everything. But you must read everything, right? So I'm just curious, what do you think of everything? There's obviously a lot of like very aggressive feedback and comments. So I'm just curious, like how do you feel about everything? You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah, I think like it's super crazy, like the pace that Jupiter is shipping, like it's difficult to get up with everything. But things you guys stuff always are top notch and they just work good. So I think your quality control is super good from the deliveries you do from the software. And the UI, UX part, that's you guys really nailed that part. So it's easy for people to get involved with quite technical software, no? So I think Jupiter makes it easy for people to use complex things.
Well said. See, this is what I'm saying, Marino. You know how to say things very nicely. Yeah, we were actually talking about this earlier today about like what is how do we bring the gum into being?
Because we talk about the gum, right? You know, the global international market.
Yeah. Because
part of it is about having all the assets available to trade, right? You know what I'm saying the other part of it is kind of across different chains, that's Jupiter, right? But the other part of it is actually important is that we need people to use it, right? Yeah. So how do Jupiter become like the entry point for the GAM? See what I'm saying? So when there's the GAM, how do Jupiter become the entry point for the GAM? See what I'm saying? So that's something that we are really interested in, I think, you know?
You need to make sure like that certain assets that people want that can be traded on Jupiter. Like imagine if you can buy like an Apple stock on Jupiter, I think a lot of people would buy that, no? So maybe Kazakhstan is like a good trial for that, but to be honest, like those stocks are not super hot, I think. But like the moment, if you do that as a good test phase, and then you bring like more in hot stock market on chain, and then I think everything can go super fast.
Well, my friend, you might have something to look forward to on that side. Yeah, I think that that's definitely the case. Obviously, you're very much in touch with the rest of the Jupiter community, both in Twitter and kind of everywhere else. I would love to know, do you have a favorite Jupiter regional page or a favorite work group Twitter page? Like, who do you think is doing the best on Twitter out of all the Jupiter? 50 different pages.
Holy shit, you're crazy.
There's so many.
Question, man. Holy shit. Crazy, huh?
Yes,
and who's your least favorite too? Let's start with you. No, I'm just kidding. Just say your most favorite. You don't have to say your least favorite.
Yeah, so I'm a part of Uplink actually, and I think it does have added value though to coordinate like content creation and like if you see, for example, all these movies that Muse make, I think Jupiter does a good job in staying relevant on the timeline, no? So, and I think like groups like Uplink and Jup and Juice pushes those initiatives. So I think they will definitely pay off in the long run.
Inshallah, brother. Inshallah. I must ask, I know I kind of joked about this earlier. How do you find the time? You're at every one of these Planetary calls. You're at many other events. You're reading you're trying all these different products, Jupiter and others as well.
Great. It's pretty awesome, right?
Yeah, it's pretty. I'm genuinely curious because I would love any time management.
So I don't have a 9-to-5 anymore. So it's actually my full-time job. And I think with the 6 hours sleep, I'm good. I'm good enough. And sometimes I also time my awake hours a little bit. Like for example, if I know it's like a Planetary call, I make sure I'm up to date then. And I also just work in the weekends. It's just like a 24/7 hustle. Like if you want to make it in crypto, you need to do it like that, I suppose. No.
I think that's absolutely right, Marino.
I think Mew also doesn't sleep that much, no?
That's a problem, though. We've had many conversations about his sleeping habits. I think 6 hours is nice, but I don't want to get Brian Johnson-y on this show right now. It's more about you, Marino. So we'll stay there. What advice do you have to folks who, you know, they see the kind of success that you've had, the way you've been able to build up this audience and now this kind of community around yourself, how you've been kind of integral to spreading the word of Jupiter? It clearly been having an impact. How do you? What advice would you give to others?
Yeah, so I think the most important thing on like content creation on X is really consistency. Like if you post day in, day out, you will grow. And also you need to really be interested in a certain project and don't make the content because you want something, but actually make the content because you're interested in it. And then the rest will follow naturally, I think.
Well, I don't know if it follows naturally unless you kind of got you need the consistency to get there. You also need some skills. You need to have some real kind of insight, I think, and you kind of have all three. Now, any final questions for Marino here?
No, just say thanks for being here. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
You know, that's good. Yeah, I think lots of very interesting stuff coming up. I think Web4 is going to be a thing, big time, and the whole thing about Jupiter is like being there for it, right? See what I'm saying? Like, how do we build like the best systems for it? You know, make when there's a million chains, a billion people on chain, and trade tokens, how do we scale that shit? See what I'm saying? Make it easy to use, right? See what I'm saying? How do we make that shit easy to use? And that's what Jupiter is for. And yeah, thank you so much for being around. And then yeah, looking forward to killing it. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. And looking forward to see you guys again, maybe in December on Breakpoint. No?
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Always.
Definitely.
Yeah.
We'll see you there, buddy.
Okay,
Good seeing you.
bye.
Drop a little W in the chat for Marino. Go give him a follow if you haven't already. Marino is the best. I'm sure everyone who's watching this already does. Thank you so much, buddy.
Thank you. Bye.
All right. Well, Meow, that about does it for us. Hour 46. Not so bad. It is 1:24 in the morning right now.
Pretty good.
Pretty good. Pretty good. I think I landed in Malaysia at 8 a.m. today. And it's been nonstop since then. It's been pretty good. Well, this has been a sleepy Meow and a smiley Kash, whose vape is dead. Isaac did see that, and I am bummed out about that. Long, but hopefully useful and interesting and entertaining Planetary call for y'all. We talked about this week in the Jupiverse. We got to hear about some kind of frank things that need to be improved upon and kind of problems that we're looking to solve across Jupiter. We got to hear from OSF, from REKT brands, and announce their launch on Solana with Jupiter. It seems like things are already going pretty well there. Jupe stakers have an exclusive pre-sale access coming up next week where you can get a case of cans along with drank points, which will be interesting and useful, I think. And then we heard about DAO Resolution number 2. Please do go leave your feedback on discuss.jupe.ag. And finally, we heard from the king of the threads himself, Mr. Marino. For Meow, my name is Kash. We will see you same time. Actually, no, we'll see you a different time next week. We'll be back on Wednesday next week instead of Thursday. Appreciate y'all. Thanks so much for coming out. You don't have to go home, but you cannot stay here. Bye, everybody.